What if the furniture in your home could last not just for years, but for generations? Amish craftsmen have quietly perfected techniques that make their pieces nearly indestructible, blending old world skill with time tested materials. These methods don't just create furniture, they create heirlooms you can pass down for decades to come. Walk into any furniture store today, and you'll find particle board masquerading as real wood. The Amish wouldn't use that stuff to line a chicken coop, let alone build a dining table. These craftsmen have been choosing their lumber the same way for centuries, and there's good reason their furniture outlasts the houses it sits in. Oak trees grow so slowly, they make government bureaucracy look speedy. The secret starts in ancient forests where hardwoods like oak, maple, and cherry spend decades developing character. These trees didn't rush through life like modern saplings pumped full of fertilizer. They grew slowly through harsh winters and dry summers, creating tight grain patterns that laugh at whatever your family dishes out. Oak survived being used for medieval castle doors and ship hulls. Cherry develops that rich burgundy color that gets more beautiful with every passing year. Maple grows so hard it could probably stop a cannonball. Some wood is harder than concrete, which explains why stubbing your toe on furniture hurts more than kicking a sidewalk. Location matters more than a real estate agent would have you believe. Most Amish communities harvest trees from the same forests their ancestors used generations ago. This isn't just about tradition or convenience. Wood that travels thousands of miles gets stressed, dried out, and beaten up during transport like luggage handled by angry airport workers. Local lumber arrives fresh with its natural oils intact and all its original strength. Here's something most furniture buyers never consider. When the tree got cut down matters enormously. Amish craftsmen prefer winter-cut timber because trees contain about 30% less sap during cold months. Less sap means less moisture, which means less shrinking and warping down the road. Your great-grandmother might not have understood the science, but she knew winter-cut firewood burned better and lasted longer. The Amish practice patience so religiously, they make monks look restless. A finished Amish oak dining table weighs over 200 pounds. That's heavier than most motorcycles and twice as difficult to move without professional help. But that crushing weight tells the whole story. Real hardwood is dense, heavy, and built like a fortress. If you can easily drag a wooden table across the room by yourself, it probably contains more air than actual wood. The Amish build furniture expecting it to survive tornadoes, floods, and teenage house parties. The difference becomes obvious the moment you touch genuine hardwood. Factory furniture feels hollow and lightweight because it usually is. Particle board wrapped in woodprint plastic weighs nothing and breaks just as easily. Solid hardwood feels substantial because every fiber developed over decades of real growth, not months of artificial acceleration in some tree farm. But selecting perfect wood is only the beginning of a process that separates furniture from future family heirlooms. While furniture factories blast their lumber with industrial heat like a giant microwave, the Amish let Mother Nature handle the drying process. Their wood sits in carefully arranged stacks for months or years before anyone makes the first cut. This old-fashioned patience creates the foundation for furniture that outlasts the people who build it. Some factories dry wood faster than laundry in the desert, with about the same long-term results. Air drying requires more art than science. Amish craftsmen use a method called sticker stacking, where thin wooden strips separate each board like layers in the world's most organized sandwich. This spacing allows air to flow around every surface, preventing mold while ensuring each piece dries evenly. The lumber piles look simple, but represent generations of accumulated knowledge about wind patterns, moisture control, and wood behavior. Natural drying happens slowly as outdoor temperatures and humidity levels change with the seasons. The wood gradually adjusts to these variations, which prepares it perfectly for a lifetime of expanding and contracting inside your home. This conditioning process cannot be rushed without consequences. Kiln-dried lumber gets shocked with temperatures reaching 160 degrees, cooking the wood fibers until they become brittle and prone to splitting. Moisture content drops gradually from about 50% in fresh lumber down to 12 to 15% when ready for furniture making. This slow reduction allows wood fibers to adjust naturally without developing stress fractures that show up later as cracks and splits. Rush this process, and you get boards that twist like pretzels the moment humidity changes. Amish woodworkers test moisture levels with simple meters, knowing that anything below 20% moisture content is stable enough for serious construction. Properly dried wood and fine wine share similar aging requirements. Both need time to reach their full potential. The space and organization required for proper air drying would shock most modern manufacturers. Lumber yards stack thousands of boards with precise spacing, rotate them periodically through different positions, and protect them from direct rain while maintaining constant air circulation. Some premium hardwood sits for 2 or 3 years before craftsmen consider it ready. This massive investment in time, space, and labor costs serious money, which explains why factory furniture skips this step entirely. The investment pays dividends decades later when your dining table still sits perfectly flat while mass-produced furniture starts resembling modern sculpture. Properly dried wood moves predictably with seasonal humidity changes instead of warping dramatically or developing cracks that ruin both function and appearance. An Amish table might expand slightly during humid summer months and contract during dry winter air, but these movements happen gradually and evenly across the entire piece. Wood that skipped proper drying reveals its shortcuts within the first few years. Tabletops develop gaps between boards. Chair joints loosen as the wood shrinks unevenly. Drawer fronts warp until they no longer close properly. These problems multiply over time until the furniture becomes unusable, which explains why so much modern furniture ends up replaced rather than repaired. Once the lumber reaches perfect dryness and stability, the real craftsmanship begins in workshops where ancient techniques meet modern precision. The only product we'll ever promote on our channel is a book by Claude Davis, a veteran prepper, about 126 superfoods and preservation methods from crisis times like the Great Depression and wartime that are impossible to find elsewhere. We decided to promote his book because we are the last generation able to share these techniques and superfoods to our children or grandchildren. It would be a shame to see this information about highly nutritious foods and preservation methods to survive crises disappear. You can also find a book about herbal remedies from Nicole Apelian on their store. If you're watching this on TV, you can look up our channel, Frugal Solutions, on your phone or tablet and find the books by clicking the link in our channel description or any other video description. Factory furniture gets shaped by machines that cut thousands of pieces per hour without caring about grain direction or wood personality. Each board goes through the same process regardless of its individual characteristics. The Amish approach treats every piece of wood like a puzzle that needs solving, not a production quota that needs meeting. Hand tools dominate Amish workshops for reasons that go beyond tradition. A skilled craftsman can feel resistance changes as a plane slides across wood grain, adjusting pressure and angle instinctively. Power tools cut fast but blind, following predetermined paths without responding to what the wood wants. Hand tools communicate with the craftsman through vibration, sound, and resistance, providing feedback that machines simply cannot deliver. Hand planes are so precise, they make Swiss watches look sloppy. Grain direction matters more than most people realize. Wood fibers run like tiny straws through every board, and cutting against this grain weakens the final piece dramatically. Amish craftsmen study each board carefully, marking the optimal cutting direction before making any cuts. They follow the natural flow of wood fibers, working with the material instead of fighting against it. This attention to grain direction can double or triple the strength of joints and connections. Measuring happens multiple times throughout the process, using techniques passed down through generations. A master craftsman might check the same dimension 5 different ways before committing to a cut. This seems excessive until you realize that one mistake can ruin hours of work and waste expensive hardwood. The old saying, measure twice, cut once, gets expanded to measure 5 times, cut once in serious furniture making. Amish measuring techniques are so thorough, they make accountants look careless with details. Fitting and testing each joint before final assembly separates amateur work from professional craftsmanship. Every mortise gets tested with its matching tenon multiple times during the shaping process. Drawers get fitted repeatedly as they take shape, ensuring smooth operation without binding or gaps. This constant testing and adjustment takes enormous amounts of time, but prevents problems that would show up years later. Tool maintenance receives as much attention as the actual furniture making. Sharp tools cut cleanly and safely, while dull tools tear wood fibers and create rough surfaces that require extensive sanding. Amish craftsmen spend time every day sharpening chisels, planes, and saws to razor-sharp conditions. A properly maintained hand plane can create shavings so thin they're translucent, leaving surfaces smooth enough to finish without any sanding. The workshop pace moves deliberately rather than frantically. Each cut gets planned and executed with full attention rather than rushed through to meet deadlines. This methodical approach catches potential problems before they become expensive mistakes. A craftsman might spend an entire morning fitting a single dovetail joint perfectly rather than accepting something that merely looks acceptable. Good craftsmanship moves at the speed of wisdom, not the speed of impatience. Wood selection continues even during the building process as craftsmen match grain patterns and color variations across different pieces. The most beautiful boards get saved for visible surfaces, while less attractive pieces get used for hidden structural components. This selective placement creates furniture with consistent flowing grain patterns that look natural and harmonious rather than randomly assembled. Surface preparation happens gradually through multiple stages of progressively finer techniques. Rough shaping gives way to careful smoothing, which leads to final surface preparation for finishing. Each stage removes the marks left by the previous step while preparing the wood for what comes next. This progressive refinement creates surfaces so smooth they feel like silk under your fingertips. But even the most precise handcrafting means nothing without joints that can hold everything together through decades of daily use. Modern furniture relies on screws, nails, and metal brackets to hold pieces together because speed matters more than longevity in mass production. These mechanical fasteners work initially, but loosen over time as wood moves and metal corrodes. The Amish build joints that actually get stronger with age, using techniques that have held furniture together for centuries without a single piece of metal hardware. Mortise and tenon joints work like three-dimensional puzzles where one piece of wood fits perfectly into another. The tenon, a precisely shaped tongue of wood, slides into the mortise, a matching rectangular hole. When done properly, these joints resist pulling, twisting, and racking forces from multiple directions simultaneously. A well-made mortise and tenon joint can actually be stronger than the surrounding wood. Mortise and tenon joints fit together tighter than teenagers' jeans. The cutting process requires incredible precision, since even tiny gaps weaken the connection dramatically. Amish craftsmen cut mortises with hand chisels, removing wood in thin layers to achieve perfect dimensions. The matching tenon gets shaped with hand saws and planes, testing the fit repeatedly until it slides into place with gentle hand pressure but cannot be removed easily. This level of precision takes years to master but creates joints that last for generations. Wooden pegs and dowels replace nails and screws in traditional Amish construction. These wooden fasteners expand and contract with the surrounding wood, maintaining tight connections as humidity changes throughout the seasons. Metal fasteners fight against wood movement, creating stress points that eventually cause splitting or loosening. Wood pegs move harmoniously with the joint, actually tightening over time as the wood seasons and shrinks slightly. Wood pegs age like fine wine, getting better with time instead of falling apart like last year's resolutions. Joint spacing allows for natural wood movement without compromising structural integrity. Wood expands across its width as humidity increases but stays stable along its length. Amish craftsmen design joints that accommodate this predictable movement pattern. Wide panels get joined with techniques that allow expansion and contraction without creating gaps or splitting. This understanding of wood behavior separates furniture that lasts from furniture that fails. Glue plays a supporting role rather than the primary holding force in traditional joints. Hide glue, made from animal collagen, creates chemical bonds that actually strengthen over time. Unlike modern synthetic adhesives that become brittle with age, hide glue remains slightly flexible while maintaining incredible strength. More importantly, hide glue can be reversed with heat and moisture, allowing future repairs without damaging the surrounding wood. Different joint types get chosen based on the specific stresses each connection will face. Dovetail joints resist pulling forces that try to separate drawers from their sides. Finger joints distribute loads across multiple connection points for maximum strength. Through tenons extend completely through their matching mortises for joints that handle heavy structural loads. Each joint type represents centuries of refinement for specific applications. Amish joints have more staying power than most Hollywood marriages. The invisible strength of traditional joinery becomes apparent only under stress. Factory furniture held together with screws and brackets fails dramatically when overloaded, with metal fasteners pulling through thin wood or particle board. Amish joints typically fail by the wood itself breaking rather than the joint coming apart. The connection remains solid while the surrounding material gives way, demonstrating the superior strength of properly executed traditional joinery. Assembly happens in specific sequences that ensure all joints align perfectly and lock each other in place. Each piece gets fitted in a predetermined order that allows access for final adjustments while building progressive structural integrity. The final assembly creates a piece where every joint supports and strengthens every other joint, resulting in furniture that becomes stronger as a complete unit than the sum of its individual parts. Surface preparation after assembly removes any glue squeeze out and ensures perfectly smooth transitions between joined pieces. Hand sanding and scraping create seamless connections where different pieces meet, making the finished furniture appear carved from single massive blocks of wood rather than assembled from multiple components. Yet even the strongest joints serve no purpose without a finish that protects and enhances the natural beauty of the wood itself. Natural oil finishes penetrate deep into wood fibers rather than sitting on top like plastic coating. Tung oil, linseed oil, and Danish oil soak into the wood pores, hardening from the inside out to create protection that becomes part of the wood itself. This penetrating approach allows the wood to breathe and move naturally while staying protected from moisture and wear. Furniture store finishes are thicker than politicians' promises and about as trustworthy. The application process requires patience that modern manufacturers simply cannot afford. Each coat gets rubbed in by hand using clean cotton rags, working the oil deep into every grain line and surface texture. Excess oil gets wiped away completely, leaving only what the wood can absorb. This hand rubbing continues for 20 to 30 minutes per coat, ensuring even penetration and building up protection gradually through multiple thin layers. Drying time between coats stretches from hours to days, depending on temperature, humidity, and wood density. Oak absorbs oil slowly and needs extra time for each coat to cure properly. Cherry drinks up oil quickly, but requires more coats to build adequate protection. Maple sits somewhere in between, accepting oil at a moderate pace while developing a beautiful honey-colored patina. Rushing this process creates a sticky, uneven finish that never fully hardens. Natural oil finishes cure slower than teenagers learning responsibility, but the results last just as much longer. Hand sanding between coats uses progressively finer grits, starting around 220 and working up to 400 or higher for the smoothest possible surface. Each sanding removes tiny imperfections while opening wood pores to accept the next oil coat. The sanding dust gets removed completely with tack cloths that pick up every particle without leaving residue. This meticulous surface preparation creates the silky smooth feel that distinguishes hand-finished furniture. Buffing and polishing happen after the final coat cures completely, which can take up to 2 weeks in humid conditions. Soft cloths remove any surface oil residue while bringing out the natural luster of properly finished wood. The polishing motion follows the grain direction, enhancing the wood's natural figure without creating cross-grain scratches that catch light improperly. Color development occurs naturally as oil finishes age and oxidize over time. Cherry wood starts pale pink and gradually darkens to rich burgundy over several years. Walnut develops deeper chocolate tones while maintaining its dramatic grain contrast. Oak takes on golden honey colors that grow richer with exposure to light and air. This natural aging process means Amish furniture actually becomes more beautiful as it gets older. Aged wood finishes improve like vintage wine, except furniture never gives anyone a hangover. The maintenance advantage of natural finishes becomes obvious after years of daily use. Scratches and watermarks can be repaired by simply adding more oil to the damaged area, allowing it to penetrate and blend with the existing finish. The repair becomes invisible once the oil cures, unlike plastic finishes that require complete stripping and refinishing to fix significant damage. A 20-year-old table can look nearly new again with proper oil maintenance. Wax application over cured oil creates an additional protective layer that enhances both durability and appearance. Carnauba wax or beeswax gets applied sparingly and buffed to a soft luster that deepens the wood colors while providing extra moisture protection. The wax fills tiny surface pores and creates a smooth barrier that makes cleaning easier while maintaining the natural wood feel. Environmental benefits of natural finishes extend beyond just avoiding toxic chemicals. Oil finishes biodegrade completely at the end of their useful life, unlike synthetic coatings that persist in landfills for decades. The production process uses renewable plant-based materials with minimal processing, reducing environmental impact compared to petroleum-based alternatives that require complex chemical manufacturing. Temperature and humidity changes affect natural finishes less dramatically than synthetic coatings because they move with the wood rather than fighting against it. The flexible finish accommodates wood expansion and contraction without cracking or peeling like rigid plastic coatings that eventually fail under stress. The superior finish quality becomes most apparent when comparing aged pieces side by side with factory furniture of similar age. Durability testing in Amish workshops happens through decades of actual family use rather than laboratory simulations that try to predict long-term performance. A dining chair gets tested by generations of children climbing on it, adults rocking back in it, and family gatherings that push furniture beyond its intended limits. This real-world testing reveals weaknesses that no laboratory can duplicate. Weight capacity gets engineered with generous safety margins that account for unexpected loads and unusual stresses. A chair rated for normal use might actually support 3 times the expected weight before showing any signs of stress. This over-engineering approach costs more in materials and time, but eliminates the furniture failures that plague mass-produced alternatives. Amish chairs are built stronger than most people's exercise routines and last considerably longer too. Drawer construction receives particular attention since drawers face more abuse than any other furniture component. Solid wood drawer boxes get joined with hand-cut dovetails at every corner, creating connections that actually get tighter as the wood ages and shrinks slightly. The drawer bottoms float in grooves cut into the sides, allowing for seasonal movement without binding or cracking under load. Drawer slides use carefully shaped wooden runners rather than metal hardware that wears out and breaks over time. The wooden surfaces get polished smooth and occasionally treated with wax for effortless operation. These wooden slides actually improve with use as the surfaces polish each other to glass-like smoothness through repeated contact. Metal slides corrode, collect dust, and eventually fail completely. Wooden drawer slides age like fine leather, getting smoother and more comfortable with every use. Table construction prioritizes stability over weight savings, using thick tops and robust leg assemblies that resist wobbling even on uneven floors. The connection between top and base allows for seasonal wood movement while maintaining rock-solid stability during normal use. Heavy construction means these tables stay put during enthusiastic family discussions and can handle the weight of holiday feasts without sagging or flexing. Daily cleaning requirements remain minimal thanks to natural finishes that resist common household stains and moisture damage. Spilled liquids get wiped up easily without penetrating the oil-sealed surface. Food residue removes with simple soap and water cleaning that would damage many synthetic finishes. The natural antimicrobial properties of properly finished wood actually help maintain cleaner surfaces compared to plastic alternatives. Repair techniques use traditional methods that restore original appearance and function rather than hiding damage under patches and touch-up paint. Dents get steamed out using hot water and careful heat application that swells compressed wood fibers back to their original shape. Deep scratches get filled with matching wood dust mixed with oil finish, creating repairs that disappear completely once cured. Repairing Amish furniture is easier than explaining social media to grandparents and considerably more rewarding. Seasonal adjustments become routine maintenance rather than emergency repairs for families who understand how solid wood furniture behaves. Drawer adjustments might be needed twice yearly as humidity changes affect wood dimensions. Door alignments get tweaked occasionally to maintain perfect fit and operation. These minor adjustments take minutes and prevent the major problems that develop when wood movement gets ignored. The furniture adapts to new uses as families grow and change over the years. A dining table becomes a homework station, then an office desk, then returns to family dining as children grow up and move away. The solid construction handles these changing roles without showing significant wear or requiring modifications. Quality furniture grows old gracefully rather than wearing out prematurely. Load distribution through proper engineering ensures that stress gets spread across multiple structural elements rather than concentrated at weak points where failure typically occurs. Table legs get positioned and braced to handle uneven loading. Chair backs get designed to flex slightly under pressure while maintaining their structural integrity. Cabinet doors get hung with hinges positioned to distribute weight evenly across the frame. But even the most durable construction means nothing if the furniture cannot be restored and maintained when problems eventually develop. Scratches tell stories rather than ruin furniture in the Amish philosophy of restoration. Every mark represents a memory, from homework sessions at the dining table to kitchen preparation on the work counter. Instead of hiding these signs of life under paint or plastic patches, traditional repair methods restore the wood while preserving its character and history. Steam treatment removes dents that would permanently damage particle board or veneer furniture. A damp cloth placed over the dent gets heated with a household iron, creating steam that penetrates compressed wood fibers and causes them to swell back to their original shape. This process works because solid wood fibers retain memory of their natural form and return to it when given enough moisture and heat. The technique requires patience and multiple applications, but completely eliminates dents without leaving any visible traces. Steaming out furniture dents is like giving wood a spa treatment. The wood relaxes, swells up with moisture, and emerges looking years younger than before the accident. Wood filler made from the original lumber creates invisible repairs for deeper gouges and scratches. Craftsmen save sawdust from each project specifically for future repairs, mixing it with oil finish to create paste that matches the exact color and grain pattern of the damaged piece. This custom filler gets worked into scratches and sanded flush once cured, creating repairs that blend seamlessly with surrounding wood. Commercial wood fillers never match properly because they use generic colors rather than dust from the actual furniture. Refinishing damaged areas involves selective sanding to remove finish without affecting undamaged surfaces nearby. Hand sanding with progressively finer grits removes old finish and surface damage while preserving the natural wood underneath. Fresh oil finish gets applied to match the surrounding areas, often requiring multiple thin coats to achieve perfect color matching. The repair area gets feathered into existing finish, so no visible line marks the boundary between old and new. Joint repairs use traditional techniques that restore original strength rather than Band-Aid solutions that merely postpone failure. Loose mortise and tenon joints get disassembled carefully, cleaned of old glue, and reassembled with fresh hide glue for connections stronger than new. Split wood gets repaired with thin wooden splints glued into place and shaped to match the original profile. These repairs often outlast the surrounding wood that wasn't damaged. Fixing loose furniture joints is like marriage counseling for wood. Sometimes they just need fresh glue and a little time under pressure to fall back in love and stay together. Color matching across repaired areas requires understanding how different woods age and develop patina over time. Cherry darkens significantly with age, so repairs must account for the original pale color versus the current burgundy tones. Oak develops honey colors that vary depending on sun exposure and oil absorption over the years. Successful repairs blend with current colors while allowing for continued aging that maintains consistency across the entire piece. Replacement parts get crafted from matching lumber when damage exceeds what repair techniques can handle. Broken chair spindles get turned on a lathe to match original dimensions and profiles exactly. Damaged drawer fronts get replaced with boards cut from the same tree species and finished to match the aging of surrounding components. These replacement parts often require months of weathering and aging treatments to blend invisibly with older wood. Tool marks and surface textures must match exactly during repair work to maintain the handcrafted character of original construction. Handplane marks get duplicated using the same tool techniques that created the original surface. Sanding patterns follow the same directions and grits used during initial construction. This attention to surface texture detail ensures repairs disappear completely rather than standing out as obvious patches. Professional furniture repair requires more patience than teaching teenagers to drive and produces results that last considerably longer without causing gray hair. The economic value of proper repair versus replacement becomes obvious when comparing costs over decades of ownership. A $50 repair can extend furniture life by 20 years, while replacement costs thousands and provides inferior quality. Traditional repair techniques actually increase furniture value by demonstrating proper maintenance and care throughout its lifetime. Well-maintained antique Amish furniture often sells for more than its original purchase price. Preventive maintenance schedules help avoid major repairs by addressing minor issues before they become expensive problems. Annual oil treatments protect finishes from drying and cracking. Seasonal adjustments accommodate wood movement without stressing joints. Regular cleaning removes debris that can cause premature wear or staining. This commitment to repair and maintenance reflects a deeper philosophy about craftsmanship and the value of preserving quality work for future generations. Workshop apprenticeships begin in childhood as young family members sweep sawdust, organize tools, and watch master craftsmen work. This early exposure develops an intuitive understanding of wood behavior, tool handling, and construction techniques that cannot be learned from books or videos. Children absorb knowledge naturally through daily observation and gradually take on more complex tasks as their skills develop. The progression from observer to craftsman follows traditional patterns established over generations. Simple tasks like sanding and finishing come first, allowing beginners to develop feel for wood surfaces and grain patterns. Joint cutting requires years of practice before achieving the precision needed for furniture construction. Master-level skills like complex curved work and intricate joinery take decades to perfect, explaining why Amish furniture commands premium prices. Learning traditional woodworking is like mastering a musical instrument. It takes about 10,000 hours to get competent and a lifetime to approach anything resembling perfection. The difference is that furniture mistakes are harder to hide than wrong notes. Knowledge transfer happens through direct hands-on teaching rather than formal classroom instruction. Master craftsmen demonstrate techniques repeatedly while apprentices practice under close supervision. Mistakes get corrected immediately before bad habits develop. This personal instruction ensures quality standards get maintained across generations while allowing individual craftsmen to develop their own specialties and refinements. Tool mastery requires understanding each implement's capabilities and limitations through years of daily use. A hand plane becomes an extension of the craftsman's hands, responding to subtle pressure changes and grain variations. Chisels get shaped and sharpened to personal preferences that maximize efficiency for specific tasks. This intimate relationship between craftsmen and tools produces results impossible with power equipment operated by less experienced workers. Material knowledge develops through handling thousands of boards and observing how different species behave under various conditions. Experienced craftsmen can predict how a particular board will move, split, or finish just by examining its grain pattern and density. This wood selection skill prevents problems before they occur and ensures optimal results from expensive hardwood lumber. Experienced woodworkers can read grain patterns like fortune tellers read palms, predicting the future behavior of every board with uncanny accuracy. Unlike fortune telling, their predictions usually come true. Quality standards get passed down through family workshops where reputation depends on every piece that leaves the building. Shortcuts or substandard work reflect on the entire family name for generations. This personal accountability ensures that quality never gets compromised for short-term profit or convenience. Each craftsman signs or marks finished pieces, taking personal responsibility for construction quality and durability. Specialization within workshops allows individual craftsmen to focus on particular furniture types or construction techniques. One master might specialize in complex curved work, while another focuses on precision joinery. This division of expertise ensures optimal results while maintaining efficiency in production scheduling. Different specialists collaborate on complex pieces that require multiple skill sets. Innovation within tradition happens gradually as craftsmen develop improved techniques while maintaining proven construction methods. New tool designs might improve efficiency without changing fundamental joinery principles. Alternative wood species get tested for specific applications while maintaining traditional finishing methods. This careful evolution preserves quality while adapting to changing material availability and customer preferences. Traditional craftsmen innovate like glaciers move, very slowly but with tremendous force behind every change. The results reshape landscapes and last for geological time periods. Problem-solving skills develop through encountering and overcoming thousands of unique challenges during decades of furniture construction. Every piece of wood presents different characteristics that require adapted techniques. Custom furniture orders demand creative solutions for unusual specifications. This accumulated experience creates craftsmen capable of handling any construction challenge with confidence and skill. The relationship between generations of craftsmen creates continuity that spans centuries while allowing for gradual improvement and refinement. Sons learn from fathers who learned from their fathers, creating an unbroken chain of knowledge transfer. Each generation adds slight improvements while preserving the core techniques that create furniture lasting for centuries. This depth of skill and knowledge creates furniture that reflects not just individual craftsmanship, but centuries of accumulated wisdom about working with wood. Fashion trends in furniture change faster than teenagers change their favorite music, but Amish designs remain timeless because they focus on function rather than fleeting style. Clean lines and practical proportions create pieces that fit into any home decor without looking out of place or dated. These simple designs have survived over 150 years unchanged because they prioritize usefulness over trendiness. Shaker influence appears throughout traditional Amish furniture design, emphasizing the beauty found in perfect proportions and flawless execution rather than decorative elements that serve no practical purpose. Tables get designed with tops thick enough to handle daily use and legs positioned for maximum stability. Chairs feature backs angled for comfort during long conversations and seats sized for real human bodies rather than fashion models. Amish furniture designers follow the same philosophy as good marriages. Keep things simple, focus on what works, and avoid flashy mistakes. Ornamentation gets limited to the natural beauty of wood grain and carefully proportioned components rather than applied decorations that date quickly or require special maintenance. Hand-carved details appear sparingly and only when they enhance function, like finger grooves on drawer pulls or shaped edges that improve comfort. This restraint creates furniture with quiet elegance that never demands attention but always provides satisfaction. Standardized proportions follow mathematical relationships that create pleasing visual balance regardless of overall size. Table heights relate to chair seats using ratios that ensure comfort for users of different sizes. Cabinet door widths get calculated to complement their height for panels that look harmonious rather than awkward. These proportional relationships remain attractive across different cultures and time periods because they reflect natural human preferences for balanced compositions. Color schemes depend entirely on natural wood tones rather than painted finishes that become dated or require regular maintenance to stay attractive. Cherry furniture develops rich burgundy colors that complement any room decoration. Oak provides golden honey tones that warm up spaces without clashing with wall colors or fabric choices. Maple offers creamy white wood that brightens rooms while maintaining sophisticated appearance. Natural wood colors age like fine wine, developing character and depth over time instead of fading like last season's trendy paint colors. Structural honesty shows construction methods openly rather than hiding them under veneers or false panels that pretend to be something they are not. Mortise and tenon joints remain visible as design elements that celebrate the craftsmanship rather than concealing it. Drawer construction gets showcased through dovetail joints that demonstrate skill while providing superior strength. This honesty creates furniture with integrity that feels solid and trustworthy. Size scaling allows the same basic designs to work in different room sizes and for various purposes without losing their essential character. A dining table design translates perfectly to coffee table proportions or desk dimensions while maintaining the same visual appeal. Chair designs work equally well for dining rooms, offices, or bedrooms when scaled appropriately for their intended use. Versatility enables pieces to serve multiple functions as household needs change over time. A simple wooden chest works as storage, seating, or a coffee table depending on current requirements. Dining tables convert to work surfaces when covered with protective pads. This adaptability means furniture continues serving useful purposes throughout changing family situations. Amish furniture adapts to life changes better than most people adapt to smartphones. The same piece serves as toy storage, hope chest, or coffee table without complaining. Regional variations exist within traditional designs, allowing different communities to develop their own subtle characteristics while maintaining the overall philosophy of simple, functional construction. Pennsylvania communities might favor slightly different proportions than Ohio workshops, but both create furniture instantly recognizable as traditional Amish craftsmanship. These regional differences add variety without abandoning proven design principles. Contemporary influences get incorporated very gradually and only when they improve function without compromising durability or construction quality. Slight modifications might accommodate modern dining habits or storage requirements while maintaining traditional appearance and construction methods. This careful evolution ensures designs stay relevant without sacrificing the qualities that made them successful originally. The test of time proves design validity more effectively than any focus group or market research study, as pieces that survive daily use for generations demonstrate their fundamental correctness. Workshop signatures appear on finished furniture not as marketing gimmicks, but as personal guarantees that stake reputation on construction quality and long-term performance. Each craftsman takes responsibility for pieces bearing their mark, knowing that furniture problems reflect directly on their skill and integrity within the community. This personal accountability ensures quality standards that no corporate quality control system can match. Community reputation builds through generations of satisfied customers whose furniture performs exactly as promised decades after purchase. Word spreads naturally through extended families and neighbors who witness firsthand how well Amish furniture ages and performs under daily use. This organic marketing proves more valuable than any advertising campaign because it comes from actual experience rather than promotional claims. Amish furniture reputation spreads like small-town gossip, except it's all good news about how well everything holds up over the decades. Family responsibility extends beyond individual craftsmen to entire workshops where multiple generations work together on complex projects. Fathers teaching sons create natural quality control as older craftsmen monitor work standards and younger members strive to meet established expectations. Family pride prevents shortcuts that might damage reputations built over generations of consistent excellence. Customer relationships often span multiple generations as families return to the same workshops for additional furniture needs throughout their lifetimes. These long-term relationships create accountability that extends far beyond initial sales transactions. Craftsmen know they will interact with customers for decades and must stand behind their work throughout that entire period. Religious conviction influences work quality as craftsmen view their furniture making as service to both customers and their faith community. The belief that all work should honor their creator means attention to details that customers might never notice, but that craftsmen know exist. This spiritual motivation creates quality standards that go beyond commercial requirements. Amish craftsmen build furniture like they expect divine inspection, which explains why everything gets done so thoroughly. Legacy considerations affect every construction decision as craftsmen build pieces intended to serve multiple generations of the same families. The knowledge that children and grandchildren will judge today's work creates motivation for excellence that transcends immediate profit considerations. This long-term perspective influences material selection, construction techniques, and finishing quality throughout the entire process. Artisan satisfaction comes from creating objects that will outlast their makers while providing daily service to families for generations. The knowledge that a dining table will host countless family meals and important conversations gives deeper meaning to precise joint cutting and careful finish application. This sense of contribution to family life motivates craftsmanship that goes far beyond mere commercial transaction. Workshop traditions preserve techniques and standards developed over generations while allowing individual craftsmen to develop their own specialties and improvements. Each workshop maintains characteristic approaches to construction and finishing while sharing knowledge with other community craftsmen. This combination of tradition and innovation ensures quality while preventing stagnation. Master craftsmen pass down techniques like family recipes, with each generation adding improvements while preserving what made the original successful. Quality verification happens through community oversight as fellow craftsmen examine and critique work standards within their shared workshops and markets. This peer review ensures that individual pieces meet community expectations while maintaining the reputation that benefits all local furniture makers. Competition between craftsmen drives quality improvements rather than cost reductions. The economic model supports quality construction by allowing craftsmen to charge prices that reflect true construction costs rather than competing with mass-produced alternatives on price alone. Customers who value durability and craftsmanship willingly pay premiums for furniture that provides superior long-term value. This economic reality makes quality construction financially sustainable rather than a luxury that workshops cannot afford. Personal fulfillment comes from mastering skills that produce objects of lasting beauty and utility, rather than disposable products designed for rapid replacement. The satisfaction of creating furniture that improves with age provides motivation that purely commercial ventures cannot match. This combination of personal pride, community accountability, and spiritual motivation creates furniture that transcends mere commercial products to become family treasures passed down through generations.